Do more, be more. Let me talk about that with you guys for today. I'm Mark Smelly Bell. The more that you do, the more that you can handle. This is part of the reason why I say do more, be more. If you want to be more, if you want to be better, you have to do better. It's pretty simple. And I want you to think about what are some areas that you can do better in? What are some areas that you can be better in? It seems to me like you can do better and be better in all areas. Think about your life and think about all these kind of corners that you have every day, all these little pieces that you have every day, where you might be able to be a little bit more ahead rather than the reverse of that, which is always being a little bit behind. Can you get up every day and be like, fuck yeah, like I'm gonna knock the shit out of today, just like I did yesterday and just like I did the day before? Or you can wake up and be like, oh man, I think I drank too much. I don't feel so great. Let me take a shower and see if the day changes at all. You can wake up just feeling like, oh man, I gotta go to work. Fuck. Hate work. Today's gonna be a long day. You know, you wake up, today's gonna be a long day. Or you could wake up and just be like, this is awesome being me. This is cool. I got this body. It's still working pretty good. I'm breathing. I know I'm gonna see a lot of cool people. Think about some of the people you're gonna see for the day. Maybe just put your mind into, we have a lot of choices. Everything's a choice. You have a choice to dump your energy into other people. And it could be other people that you like. It could be other people that you enjoy. So maybe you wake up in the morning and maybe your knee hurts or ankle hurts or something's bothering you a little bit. But you can say, you know what? I forgot. I got an opportunity to see my best friend today. I'm gonna text him. Hey, what's up, Fatso? Or whatever it is you want to text him. Mess around with him. Now you start your day off with a smile. Start your day off doing something fun. When you talk about do more, be more, the reason for waking up that way, I wake up every day like I'm launched out of a cannon. And I wake up every day super excited to do what I'm about to do, and I don't even know what it's going to be all the time. But I know that it's just going to be simply more than I've done in the past. This can get to a point where it starts to get a little ridiculous because you don't want to be overstressing yourself. You don't want to be crushing yourself too much. And you don't want to feel bad if you're not doing more. You're going to have some days where you're going to be a lazy lump. That happens to everybody. But the more that you do, the more that you can do. And the reason is because motivation, you don't have motivation and then go and do something. I think there's a misunderstanding here. You do something, and that something that you're doing gets you motivated. You know what's really motivating? Is success. What is success? If I was just inside my office over here, Slingshot World Headquarters, if I was just inside my office and I was just sitting around and I thought to myself, hey, chubby little self, wake up. You should get outside and you should go on a 10-minute walk. Success is measured with progress. And this right here is progress. This right here is the embodiment of success, not me. It's the fact that I'm doing what I said I was going to do a few minutes ago. I am not even necessarily making myself do it, because sometimes that energy runs out. I'm not really forcing myself to do it. I'm doing it because I know what it will make of me. I know what it will turn me into. I heard the great Jim Rohn say his mentor told him, I want you to set a goal to become a millionaire for what it will make of you. For what it will make of you. I want you right now to set a goal to bench 315. Not so you can go around and say, with imaginary lat syndrome, and say, hey everybody, how's it going today? I benched 315. It's not to do any of that, because no one cares, so that's not even really that good of a bench, to be honest with you. It's for what it can turn you into. It's because you know that there's going to be a cascade of disciplines that descends downward into everything else you do if you're paying attention. If you're a dummy and just a meathead, then maybe not. But if you figure out how to squat 700 pounds, then you should figure out how to be a champion in all aspects of your life. And it shouldn't be hard. It should come easy, because squatting 700 pounds sucks. It's a brutal road. I'll give you guys an example. Years ago, Chris Duffin, Kabuki Strength, the owner of Kabuki Strength, the guy that makes all the really amazing cool barbells, he was down at SuperTraining gym. He and I were driving together. He had a conversation with one of the higher ups at his work, and he was getting a tongue whooping. He was getting a tongue lashing. He was getting yelled at. And he got off the phone and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that." He's like, "I really hate my job." And I said, "Chris," I said, "we're all different and you might have your reasons, but never in my life has anybody ever talked to me that way, nor would I ever tolerate that." I was like, "You should quit that job." And he's like, "I know." He's like, "It doesn't make any sense anymore," but he's like, "I make really good money." I think he made, 150, 200,000. I mean, he was doing really well. He's like, "I can't leave that behind." And I said, again, nobody has ever talked to me that way, nor would I allow it, and I don't think you should either. At the time, Chris Duffin was damn near a world record holder in the 220-pound weight class, and he's somebody that eventually went on to squat over 1,000 pounds for multiple repetitions. He's also deadlifted over 1,000 pounds. He had the all-time world record squat for a while. And I said, "Chris, you're an all-time world record holder." I was like, "You can figure out anything, dude. Quit that job." And fast forward, a few months went by, got a phone call, and he's like, "Hey, about 2 weeks after I got back home from coming to SuperTraining and talking to you," he's like, "I dumped my job and moving full on into Kabuki Strength." And Chris knew back then that if he did more, he would become more. He knew that if he leaned into his gut feeling and his senses, he didn't need me. He didn't really need me to say that. He was there. He came to me knowing that I was going to say that. Right? He knew, like, Mark's this kind of guy. He'll know what to do. And I bet you he's going to tell me what I already kind of know inside. That's what advice is, right? Advice is just a little elbow nudge towards, like, you already kind of know, there's a bunch of things you have in your head where you're like, I should probably start to do this. I should probably start to do that. And then you ask someone like me, and I say, yep, I should maybe consider a low-carb diet. I should maybe stop, eating shitty food at night. Yep. Great idea. Good job. You got it. The more that you do, the more that you can become. And the more that you do, the smaller these bigger tasks seem. I always like to use The Rock as an example, because what a great example he is to a lot of us, right? Joe Rogan, Elon Musk. But Joe Rogan is such a psychopath that he has Elon Musk on his show, and he's like, "Elon, how is it possible?" I know Joe Rogan doesn't sound like that. That's my Joe Rogan voice. "How is it possible that you have time to do anything like that?" It's like, Joe Rogan, are you out of your fucking mind? You're the GOAT, man. You're the greatest podcaster of all time. Greatest UFC announcer of all time. A black belt in a bunch of different practices in martial arts. And just an overall badass. I think he's got like 3 or 4 kids. He's asking other people how they get their work done. I mean, I think he's asking for the audience, so the audience can kind of learn how are you launching a spaceship into Mars and running Tesla and running Neuralink and doing all these other things. But Joe knows what the answer to that is. Incremental progress over a long period of time. it appears like you're doing so much, but that so much that Elon Musk does ain't so much to him. It ain't a big deal. It's Elon Musk. That's what he does. A lot of times when we're in the middle of these things, we might not be able to really truly see what it is that we're doing, or what it is that is special about us. But so many people are really, really special. I'm a believer that, even beyond special, I'm a believer that there's divinity in all. There's God-like features in all of us. One of the reasons why I believe it is because I've seen small characteristics of people here and there where I'm like, wow, that is really like out of this world. That is like kind of beyond my comprehension. But thinking about Elon Musk and thinking about Joe Rogan and thinking about Jeff Bezos, all these people, do they have a different brain? Do they have a different thing going on than us? We are born with certain things. Maybe we have certain advantages over another. But I think some of that divinity that is in people, I think the difference is that in those people it's been promoted. In other people it's been demoted and it's been killed and it's been stomped on to the point where you're like, I'm nothing special, man. I'm just gonna get a factory job. But like even someone that gets a job like that, they think they're just, normal or average Joes. They probably still have a job. They're probably still providing for their family. They may have kids. They may have a wife. They're still contributing to society. They're still doing more and being more, just not even really maybe recognizing it. And it's like, bro, you're 60%, 70% kind of, let's promote that. Let's get that going. Because you're not far off. But remember what I said earlier. Where does motivation come from? Right, it comes from David Goggins. I'm glad somebody answered. I'm glad somebody said that. No, it doesn't come from David Goggins. I'm listening. It doesn't come from Mark Smelly Bell. Good guess. Motivation comes from action. Comes from doing. Comes from this right here. So do more, be more. Do more, become more. You have an opportunity to be more simply by doing. And it's going to really come in things that you actually like. I cannot stress that enough. What do you enjoy? You want to be considered great at something? Find something you enjoy and do it a lot. Do it until it kills you. And they'll consider you the greatest of all time. How many times have we seen that happen over the years? People like Jimi Hendrix and things like that, right? I mean, people that crash and burn, they do something so hard, they go in so hard. It's not the actual thing that kills them, but their single-mindedness, their passion is so different. It derails the rest of their life. I'm going to finish up with one last thing. Well, two last things. So if you ask The Rock, hey Rock, could you do more? He would say yes, he can. Can he be more charitable? Can he be kinder? Can he let shit roll off his back more? Can he be a better husband? Can he be a better dad? Can he be better in the gym? He would be like, yeah, of course. Like, he wouldn't have been able to get to where he is if those things weren't true. Let's talk about another GOAT. Let's talk about Tom Brady, who, by the way, I can't believe that he's going to sign a deal with the Jets and take them to the Super Bowl next. That's going to be amazing because the Jets haven't won a Super Bowl since 1969, and I'm going to be really pumped in 2021 when the Jets finally get, or 2022, I guess it would be in January, right? Jets finally get to a Super Bowl. Anyway, that ain't going to happen, but Tom Brady sent his family away around the timing of the Super Bowl. He sent them away for like a week or so. And he's just like, you know what? Like, single-mindedness. I'm on a mission. I came here to Tampa Bay to take them to the Super Bowl and win. And when the season started, who thought they had a chance? What's Brady going to be without Belichick? What's Belichick going to be without Brady, and so on? Tom Brady was able to hone in and focus and get after what he wanted. Sometimes when you do more and you be more, you end up having to be a little bit alone sometimes in your efforts, and that's what makes it tough. It's easy. It's easier. It's easier to not step out from the crowd. It's easier to stay within the huddle. It's easier to stay within the herd of what everybody else is doing. It feels more comfortable. It feels more comforting to hang out there. It's not easy to have a focus in lifting weights and in powerlifting to the point where you don't ever go to your senior prom. You don't ever go to dances. You don't ever go to parties. You forego a bunch of foods that other people are eating. And now you're the loner. You kind of Tom Brady'd it. You sent your family away. You push all these things away. They're so common and so normal, but it puts you in isolation. But it also will put you in a position of power. So you get to choose. In this world, you get to choose. What do you want to be? What do you want to become? If you want to become something powerful, you're going to have to figure out a way to have some good output. If you're going to have some good output, it's going to be surrounded by you putting things into action. That action will motivate the fuck out of you. It will motivate you tremendously. As you are more motivated, as you do more, you will become more. In the journey, you will become more. What can you become? Who's to tell you? No one can tell you. Someone will say, "Oh, you're just going to be a welder," or somebody say, "You're not real smart with math or science or history, so you're just going to be packing boxes." Well, I hate to tell you this, that it's definitely not true, because nobody has any idea of the potential of the human mind in any capacity. You can set out to become something specific, and you can work on it, and the more that you do, the more that you can become, and you can work your way towards becoming just about anything that you can possibly think of. And so that person that says you're dumb, that person that says you're slow or too fat or too this or too that, and you'll never be able to do, the more you do, the more motivated and more fired up you're going to be, and the easier it's going to be to become something. I would like for all of you to roll the dice on your own life and bet on yourself. Roll the dice on your own life and bet on yourself, because what I'm interested in is learning about what you can become in that process. I was a fat, dumb kid from Poughkeepsie who, I kind of thought no one ever gave me a shot, but meanwhile I grew up with great parents and great brothers and had a pretty good support network, a support network that was strong enough to allow me to believe in myself just enough to hang in there. And a big person that was in my corner was my mama. Mama Bell was right there for everything all the time, ensuring that I didn't lose myself, that I stayed connected to understanding that you can't live a victim mentality. You can't just say, you know what, I'm not, those teachers are probably right. Like, shit, man, I'm not smart enough. I should stay in my lane. I should just focus on playing football and maybe lifting some weights and stuff. And they're probably right. I shouldn't stick my neck out there because I'm probably going to get hurt, because when I find out what the real world has for me, it's going to beat me up and chew me up and spit me out, so to speak. But none of that ended up being true. And that's why I say fuck what you heard pretty often, is because I know that once you start to get momentum in a certain area, you build up a little momentum and you start to recognize how much you're enjoying that momentum and how much you enjoy doing the thing that you're doing. That momentum is tenacious and it becomes unstoppable at a certain point, and then things become sort of irrelevant. It kind of becomes irrelevant whether you're fat or not. It kind of becomes irrelevant if you're not as good looking as you want to be. It kind of becomes irrelevant if you're not as strong as you want to be or as smart as everybody else, and who even is to determine. There's so many different levels of strength. There's so many different levels of intelligence. It's your job to work on finding what it is that you got inside, what's within you, what's in there, what's on the inside. There's something there. There's something there, and for a spark to turn into a fire, it needs some air, right? It needs some oxygen. You ever see those little things that you squeeze and on a fire, and it gets the ash going in the fireplace, and then the Fire starts to become a roaring blaze after a while, where you're like, whoa, like, I don't know if I even meant for it to catch fire like that. How are you going to catch fire? You're going to catch fire by doing more and being more. Let me know in the comments below some things that you've done to transform your life, some things that you've done to set your world on fire, some things that you've done that are things that you implemented for you to be able to do more and be more. Strength is never weakness, weakness is never strength. Catch you guys later.